a day I've been anticipating for a while. I've been meaning to make this for like a week now, but I had to go on a road trip to the middle of America to go pick up my niece, and also I had to grab a couple ingredients that I didn't have already to make this. So today we are making Japanese hibachi. Now, I am not a hibachi chef, and I commend hibachi chefs because they literally throw knives around for a living. I, however, won't be participating in that today because that is a skill that I don't possess. And I have had the unfortunate experience of chopping one of my fingers off with brand new knives, and I wasn't even throwing them around. If you are as excited about this recipe as I am, let's just go ahead and get into it. It's so good. You're gonna love it. Oh my god. All right, so the two main ingredients that you are going to need is a full box. These are getting stuck together. It'll be all right. A full box of linguine, cooked al dente. And then the next thing you'll need is a good amount of cooked white rice. If you want to know how I cook my rice, I will refer you to my red beans and rice video, and I show you how to cook rice perfectly. And so these are going to be our two main focuses. So after you cook the noodles, you're going to want to add some soy sauce, probably about a tablespoon and a half. And then some teriyaki sauce. Just a good amount, enough to coat the noodles. And I like to add some spicy Szechuan sauce just because it adds a little spicy kick and it's got that amazing flavor to it. It's also a little bit sticky. And then I'm just gonna stir these together with all that yummy goodness on it. All right. That made an absolute mess. Just go in. Go in, get dirty, whatever. It's gonna end up fabulous. Okay, and then you set those on the side while we take care of the rest of this recipe. The rice I am going to leave untouched until it is ready to be fried up and cooked. Now for our fried vegetables, you will want zucchini, squash. I'm using 2 zucchinis because I love zucchini. And about an onion and a half. And I have this kind of medium-sized onion and the rest of a leftover onion. So you just want to cut off the ends. And then slice it right down the middle. And then you want to cut it into 3s. And then about an inch, a little over an inch. That's how big you want your pieces to be. It's just a little bit over an inch. I forgot to say that you're also gonna need a good amount of mushrooms. If you don't like mushrooms, just leave them out. Everything will be fine. Some clean washed mushrooms that are already sliced. Unfortunately, like I said, we will not be doing any onion volcanoes because I am not experienced enough for that. just kind of want your onion like this. Doesn't have to be perfect. If you want to cut it smaller, you know the drill. Go ahead and cook it however your little heart desires, because that's what makes it special. Now keep this half for your fried rice, because you're gonna wanna finely dice it up for your fried rice. I'll show you guys what I'm doing. So I'm just breaking all the onion pieces apart. I've got all my vegetables in this big bowl. Stir them up. Do that, and then all we have to do is add some finely minced garlic. So I'm gonna use about 5 cloves. And I'm just gonna go ahead and mince up my onions so I have it ready to go on the side for the rice. Now, while we have our noodles marinating on the side and our vegetables just kind of chilling, ready to be, you know, fried up, this is the sauce that goes on hibachi. Not for everybody, not everybody puts it on their hibachi, but this is a very popular sauce to put on hibachi. It is called yum yum sauce. And I didn't realize how low mine was. Mine's like to right here. So if you can't get your hands on this, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to make it from scratch. It's very simple. So in this bowl, I just melted half a stick of butter. And to that, we are going to add mayonnaise. I'm just eyeballing this because I want to kind of make a lot. So I added about that much mayonnaise. I don't know if you can see that. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of tomato paste. Then some sugar. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of white sugar, a little bit of brown sugar. And then some salt, some garlic powder, some smoked paprika, and a little tiny bit of cayenne. And I'm just gonna whisk that together. Mine's a little too tomatoey, so I'm gonna add some more sugar. Couple pinches. And I'm also gonna add a little bit of water to it. I'm still a little not happy with the acidity, so I'm gonna add a little bit of white wine vinegar. Should be a little bit runny. Not too runny, just a little bit runny. And that actually came together really nicely. It was just missing some acidity. Now it's time to fry everything up. Okay, so I'm cooking in my little portable skillet thing today, and I'm gonna turn the heat up on it to about 375. You wanna have a really high heat so your stuff can fry properly and get that nice brown color. Now I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of butter, make sure it's all melted, and then add my cooked rice. Then you're gonna add some soy sauce and add some teriyaki, and then add your onion. And then you just want to mix that all up and make sure all the rice is coated. You don't want to see any white rice. And get any rice that falls out because you're messy. And then make a little pit in the middle of your rice. Add 1 egg and stir it up really good. Make it all scrambled, and then you want to incorporate that into your rice. Make it coat the rice evenly, and just stir all the rice around with the egg in it. Make sure that all the egg is thoroughly cooked. And you'll start noticing your rice getting a little bit browned, and you want that. That is a good sign. And then I just let it sit and get a little bit more brown without stirring it before taking it off. And it should be all done. All right. right, so the next thing we're gonna fry up is the noodles. You just wanna keep it on the same temperature, and for your noodles, you're gonna constantly stir them around just so they don't stick and they don't get burnt. I'd turn my heat down a little bit lower because it was too hot. I'm not too familiar with this portable skillet. I'm just stirring those around. I'm going to cover those, turn the heat down a little bit more, and let them sit. And then after about a minute, I took the lid off and added some butter and tossed that around with the noodles till the butter was all melted. And like I said, just keep stirring it. Make sure nothing's sticking. Make sure everything is all coated evenly. And then I covered it, let it sit for another minute, and then took the lid off and added some more teriyaki because I like my noodles to have a intense teriyaki flavor. But it's all to taste and all to preference. And just keep stirring them around. And they should be all done. Once your noodles are thoroughly cooked, they are no longer al dente. You can take them off and set them aside. Alright, so for the last step, we're going to be cooking our vegetables. I added another tablespoon of butter to my skillet and just added all those yummy vegetables and stir them around. It's kind of hard to get them evenly coated with the butter, but just try your best and make sure that you're mixing all of the garlic around so it doesn't burn. And then I covered it, and I'm gonna let it sit there and steam, and then after about 2 or 3 minutes I took the cover off, stirred them around again, and just making sure everything is fine. Then I added some kosher salt, some onion powder, some garlic powder, and some ground ginger. You can use fresh ginger. I'm sure it'll taste really, really good, but I did not feel up chopping up ground ginger or chopping up fresh ginger, so I used my ground ginger and it tastes just as good. And then I covered them again, let them steam for another 2 to 3 minutes, and they should have cooked down well enough to where they're not soggy. You don't want anything to be soggy. You want them to still have a crunch to them. That's what makes them so good. And I let them steam for about another minute, and then they were all done. And I was very happy with the texture and consistency. Alright guys, so that's what it looks like all plated up. And as always, if you recreate this recipe, please tag me in it and take a picture, let me know. I love to see it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.